practicing today.
So this is Vinny. He is my Retired Racehorse Project for this year, and he is owned by my student, Mary Alex Bacchus. And he had come off the track. I think he raced around 42 times. So very athletic horse. He, very typical of a thoroughbred off the track, was a bit weak over his top line. And as you can see, he's a little fussy. So he either would be very hollow, or he would want to grab the bit and kind of tuck his nose. So that's very indicative of kind of just weakness and strength, and we've really been working on building him up. So he's actually come a long way. And you see here, so he's in the canter, and you can see he kind of just isn't quite through. He still breaks in the neck, and not at the pole. So I try to keep my hands a little wider. You want the line to their mouth from your hip kind of more in a straight line. Really helps with the straightness of a young horse, and then guiding him with your legs. And of course you're trying to teach them to come from behind, and it's not about the bit per se. So really get him to want to be on his hind end instead of the forehand. And like I said, I was really proud of him. He had a bit of tension in this test, but it was good practice for him. So now Vinny got to do a little show jump around. And again, he's a very powerful horse. He has a really good jump. And so for him, again, straightness is kind of what I am working on. Not only that, but also light, getting him light off the forehand. So again, he tries to, with such a good jump like that, sometimes they land heavy on the forehand and then want to grab the bit and take control. So working on the half halts and getting them to be wanting and waiting on the hind end only makes them more adjustable and really good jumpers. As you see, he's pretty exuberant in his jump, and that's just part of the greenness. You do want them to jump well, but essentially you don't always want them to be jumping a mile high, because that's just more wear and tear on them. So as they get more educated, they will learn to start to wrap around the fence. And you see he starts to settle down kind of near the end and create a good shape over the jump. And I would like him to follow through a little bit more with the hind end, but that will come with time. So he ended very well over the last fence, and I was really happy with how he did. It was a very good weekend for him. So my second RRP horse, or Retired Racehorse Project, is Lear, which his show name is Fly With Me, and his jockey club name is Sir Teddy. He's owned by Michelle and Maddie Chisholm. So he's a little bit different energy than Vinny. He's a little bit lower keyed energy. He only raced twice, so he gives you a very nice feeling. But again, he's still really weak over the top line. Both horses have quite a nice hind end, but they both are lacking kind of in the muscling in the neck and over the top line, which is fairly consistent with the off the track horses. So in the retraining, really doing the flat work, working on the transitions, doing a lot of hill work and a lot of cavaletti and pole work, not only is good for the footwork, but it's also good in building a top line. But as you can see, he is very willing to relax. I gave him a good little pat, and he just gives you a nice feeling in the ring where you can, in fact, put your leg on him a little bit, versus the other horse I was really having to kind of manage. He would get really strong. But Lear is able to let me kind of press him through and keep his head up a little bit more. Again, he still tries to dive, and you can see he too breaks at the wrong place in the neck. And again, that's just weakness, and really teaching these horses how to come through the back and break at the proper spot in the poll. But he was pretty rideable in this test. This was our first test together. I'd only had him for 2 weeks. So I'm pretty excited to see where he will go. And he was a pretty good boy. And then next, Lear did a little show jump round. And you can see he has a little bit different style than Vinny, but they're both very good jumpers in their own right. So both very round jumping, really good at using their bodies when it comes to jumping. So that makes my job easier in that respect. But again, the flat work on both these horses is going to be fun to watch the change in their bodies, and then just how much stronger they will become. So he's a little peaky, but he, again, keeps a nice rhythm and wraps right around the fence. And again, the key is kind of keeping them straight, and you want to keep that wide hand and always reiterating with your legs to kind of press them through to your hand. So I was really happy with how he was, and got some good education at the schooling shows. And I know a lot of people wonder what Fledge has been up to, and he's actually been a very good teacher for my working student, Britt Buttman. And I let Britt kind of take him for a little spin at North Atlanta Equestrian, and this is her first time doing an English show, so I was very proud of her. And this was their first jumping around a course. So Fledge does a really good job of helping me teach people, as well as being a great Mustang ambassador. So I was really proud of them both this weekend, as Britt was able to learn a lot. So Fledge does a really great job.
What? Hey, never seen one of those.